Dear Edit, what is your weirdest dream nightmare you've ever had? After my grandmother died, she would appear to me at night, sitting alongside my bed in the rocking chair that she had willed me. It didn't feel like a dream, it seemed vividly real. She and I would talk about many things, some of which we never discussed when she had been alive. I would ask questions, and she'd give clear answers. These nightly episodes went on for weeks after her death. When they finally stopped, I was sad that she no longer appeared. I had this reoccurring dream. I'm in my town center and I see a huge mushroom cloud exploding in the distance. It's fast approaching and I jump into the fountain in the last second since I'm extremely slow. As I go in I can see the flames and destruction from underwater and I emerge to see everything destroyed. I'm having this dream since I was 5-6 years old and it gets me every time. I'm 24. Walking into a castle and ending up in a giant room full of different breads. Guess I was craving bread. Let's get this bread. My best friend took me to some farmland during a time when it was covered in a thick layer of snow, gave me a large squirt gun, and told me to spray the cows as they came in. I take one look at the cows, and I get sad, and throw the gun into the snow. The farmer, or a farmhand, sees us, yells and curses at us, and makes us line up against the fence. I swear to him that it was all my friend's idea. This large mob of people consisting of everyone I know gathers around to watch this unfold, and at some point, my friend says something to me. In that moment, I fly into this murderous rage, grabbing him by the throat and screaming, "You son of a b, I'll fricking kill you, frick you." His face is getting redder and redder with every squeeze. Finally, my mom pulls me away, and I let him go. Yo, what the frick? 2 weird dreams. 1. 20 years from now, my future wife and I buy my former high school and turn it into a house. 2. Had a wife in the military, either deployed or deceased, and around 10-12 children. I told these 2 dreams to my friend, and he stitched them together to form what he calls the prophecy. Dude, your dream wife is a freaking badass for having 10 children while on active duty military. I once dreamt that my mild-mannered husband casually reaches out of our car window at a grocery store, grabbed a passing woman by the hair and sliced her face off with a sharp knife. He dropped it on the center console and sped off, never looking at the road, but making eye contact with me while he silently bit off each of his fingers. Jesus Christ, this is disturbing. The first night we got my pet cat when I was a little girl, I dreamt for 2 nights she would stop at nothing to kill me. She even killed my mother in one of my dreams. There were no gory details, thank goodness, but I vividly remember the cat sitting on my mother's corpse saying, "Your mother is no help to you now." I really loved the cat at the time, so I'm not sure where this came from. This is literally Arim's origin. Being chased through an abandoned hospital Scooby-Doo style by the 1940s Wolfman, while everything was black and white. I'm imagining the hallway shot where they keep showing up in different doorways. Overslept once because I had a dream that I was in a church and Soldier Boy was being baptized. Tony Stark fighting the Power Rangers. He was not wearing his helmet but was still able to kill wound a few of them until I asked him where his helmet was. And then Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White and Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight. My first memory was a nightmare I had when I was around 5. I remember it vividly, and I have no idea why it scared me so much. I look back and laugh at it, because it is so weird. Anyways, my friends and I were all playing in my childhood home. Then there was a knock at the door. My friend went to open it, and there was Barney at the door. My friend invited him in, but every time he looked at me he had evil red eyes. No one else noticed this. Eventually, Barney tried to get everyone outside. I followed hesitantly, and as soon as I stepped outside I saw that Triceratops character charging everyone with her horns and had glowing red eyes. That was when I realized they were out for blood. I tried to get everyone to run, but they wouldn't listen. I watched Barney and the Triceratops take down my younger brother, and that's when I woke up. Dude, a purple T-Rex and a yellow Triceratops with red eyes was leading you outside to murder you. How the heck is that not scary? I was jetpacking around my hometown and this one butthole from there was trying to kill me. He crashed a ship by me and my jetpack stopped working. So of course I went back in time and asked some random nude jogger to run after him when he landed. I was a child and had just watched The Predator with Schwarzenegger. In my dream, the predator was hunting me. He finally caught me, wedged the spear where my arm was joined to my body, and pushed on it so as to dislodge my arm. I woke up with my arm completely flabby and non-functional for the next 30 minutes. Real life physical feelings can translate into dreams easily. I've had dreams where my arm was being crushed, laying on it weird in my sleep and cut off circulation. Dreams where I was in a gallows, neck pain, someone was choking me, sore throat, and ants crawling on my feet. Athlete's footage. I was being chased by someone and plankton saved me. I saw a man die in my dream when I was about 10. It was the way he died that was weird. I remember him laying on his side and puking like he had been poisoned. The puke changed color, texture and consistency every time he puked. Eventually, he was eaten by parasites from the inside. When I woke up I asked myself why I would ever dream of something like this and if something was wrong with me. Just happened that one time, though. Once I dreamt I was chopping meat off of meat hooks with butter knives and feeding it to robotic heads. There were no bodies, just the heads chomping down on the meat I threw to them. And while doing that I was also talking to an aristocratic cockroach called Mr. Johnson, who I knew was an aristocrat because he was wearing a tuxedo, a monocle, and was fat. He had a deep, raspy kind of voice, and I don't recall our conversation. However, at one point he said he had to go, and I asked, "But Mr. Johnson, won't you stay for dinner?" To which he replied, "No, and you won't either," and then I woke up 1 or 2 minutes before my alarm rang. Mr. Johnson became a joke among my group of friends, and a supervillain alongside Malpig, the evil swine. That sounds very Alice in Wonderland-esque. Being chased by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with the cast of iCarly. Spencer was popping off on that turret though. Jesus take the wheel. Satan get behind me. Buddha, man the .50 Carl. I work at a zoo and we had crazy tigers. They have since been sent to a big cat sanctuary because they never really adjusted well to our location. But they used to sneak and ambush you when walking by their enclosure. No joke, you are minding your business and they would rush and pounce at the fence in full kill mode and scare the ever living crap out of you. The tigers are gone and in their new home, but there's a number of us that still have tiger nightmares. Jack Black is in a movie about a mid-low tier ranking gangster addicted to pain meds pulling off insane heists and murders so lower tier gangsters stop trying to kill him and his friends for his spot. This happens after he finds his dead friend with a 7 of diamonds playing card with the letter J burned into it. Gang is ranked by playing cards. Ace is new guys. King is big boss. Jack is currently 7 and card was a sign that they were coming for him. At one point he gets high in the back of a garbage truck and thinks he's in Lego Star Wars. Police trying out his weird mannerisms, one of Jack's mannerisms, to try to connect him to the crimes. Jack catches the police chief in high heels when he tries breaking into the station. Finds out while spying on Chief that his friends were going to double cross him. Name of the movie will be Jack Black's Black Jack. That first part actually sounds like a really cool idea for a movie, but the second part sounds like an amazing idea for a movie. I had a dream a couple of hours ago about a man named Lewis that moved to Australia from America after years of abuse from his father towards him and his sisters. One of his sisters passed away. It felt so real and I felt such a strong connection. I tried looking it all up but alas couldn't find anything, because it wasn't real. It's got me really fricked up to be honest. I contacted this person and we connected and I loved him, but it was just a dream. Then I woke up back to this depressing lonely reality. Getting lost from Disneyland and then led back through the sewers by a group of Minecraft villagers was pretty surreal. HRN. I was eating ice cream and tripped into Adolf Hitler wearing boxer shorts, so I did the most reasonable thing and let him borrow my fine china plates. It's the polite thing to do after running into someone like that. I once dreamed that I was being hunted by a human-sized pigeon. I woke up terrified XD. So basically Jurassic Park. Kanye West seeks my help moving his furniture out of an apartment. Also all the furniture is assembled out of cereal boxes, Cheerios, Fruit Loops, Raisin Bran, Chex, etc. I actually had this dream 3 nights in a row. 8 or 9 giant anacondas had a battle royale in my backyard during a monsoon. Water up to my ankles while I just stood and watched. Every time an anaconda killed one, it would consume the loser and grow in size. Eventually one titanic anaconda was left, which slithered into the woods behind my house. Kurt Russell was a Pokemon trainer, but he was like, really into it, yelling attacks out, throwing his fists in the air. Whenever he'd get a KO he would lose his dang mind, and even me and other trainers would look at each other and talk about how Kurt Russell needs to take it down a notch. Being in a completely white room with no perceivable door or windows. Around the entire room about 3 inches from the ceiling is a model train track that comes into the room through a small tunnel from one wall, wraps the whole room and then returns into a tunnel at the opposite side of the first wall. It is also completely white. On this track comes a small white model tank, smoking from its barrel the entire time it travels round the room. I get an anxious feeling of displacement, like the odd sensation you get if you take your thumb and push it as far as it will reach between your pointer and middle finger. I don't know why that specific action makes me get the same feeling of displacement, but it's the closest thing to it that I've been able to find out in the waking world. I have this dream around 5-6 times a year, and thus has been happening for more than 10 years now. I have no idea why. I remember one that I infiltrated a villain meeting and there were many villains there. It was in the style of My Hero Academia, so subtitles appeared each time a character was introduced, summarizing their power. When it was time, an old woman, holding a toilet under her arm, entered in the room, followed by 2 henchmen. Her subtitle, Toilet Queen. She has a toilet. For some reason the other villains were terrified of her. Imagine all the other villains having long descriptions of her power, and then arrives a villain, who's an old lady holding a toilet. Her power is that she has a toilet and everyone freaks out. Also, there was that time I saw in a magazine a new season of Dragon Ball Super, announcing the new villain, a female Saiyajin named Keela. Her notes said she was a Saiyajin and a Marxist. This is the first one to make me cry or laugh, so thank you. Toilet Queen sounds like someone my mind could whip up. I once dreamed Peppa Pig had died of swine flu and I was genuinely sad. Capital F. Was having sex with someone, was into it, but I couldn't see their face. Somehow they wouldn't turn around to face me. Continued on until finally I pulled out, got around them and pushed them on their back, and it was my brother's face on a woman's body. Immediately woke up and could not fall back asleep with my mind filled with terror and disgust. Most what the frick dream ever. This one time at a sleepover when I was like 8, I woke up from a dream where Maya and my friend were running through a white tunnel, and right as I got to the end, I woke up. I saw the same friend sitting up, and I asked him if he was able to sleep, because I thought he was awake all night. He said he just woke up from a dream that he described as the same as mine. Welp, his house is haunted. I was sat on a bench very late at night with a few of my friends. We weren't talking or anything. Then it sort of zoomed out, so I was watching from very far away. Then one of those semi-sphere cameras like detached from the building it was connected to, and it was connected to this like extending metal pole. And then the camera rushed super fast into my face, the me that was sat on the bench, and I woke up. Anakin Skywalker killed me by repeatedly ramming my head against the side of a toilet in my bathroom. I was walking down Hanging Bridge with my hiking friends until it collapsed and we all fell to river beneath. I survived and I swam to the land and noticed that there is small house there. I was going to ask help there, but when I opened the house door I realized that it was sauna and there was a demon baby inside of it, and that baby killed me. Weird as frick. I was part of a task force to take down a Godzilla-sized mosquito without wings in the inner city. This was when I found out that the whole you wake up when you die concept was BS. Because every time I died I would respawn. It was like Groundhog Day, but instead of learning to manipulate people in small town Pennsylvania, I was getting impaled by a monstrous insect. My wife just had a dream that I was pregnant, a male, and I gave birth to a puppy. She then took the puppy and nursed it herself. This was last night. I have no words. Well, last night I dreamed that the OG Disney characters, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, etc., were in a grunge rock band and I was at one of their concerts. It was weird and I have no explanation for it. SHHHH. Like this video, but do it quietly so you don't wake up the sleeping papa. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.